What's poppin', people? Welcome back to IDW Deuce. In this journal entry, we're going to be talking about how to put a car in your business name. Let's get it. Before we get to the how, let's talk about the why. Why would you want to put your car in your business name? Well, for the tax advantages, pretty much. Man, did you know if you put your vehicle in your business name, you can write off depreciation expenses, you can write off general car expenses like repairs, tires, oil changes, gas. You can't do none of that while you got the vehicle in your personal name, now can you? Also, if you finance your vehicle, you can write off the interest. Another thing you can't do if you have a vehicle in your personal name. So, like I said, there are many advantages on why you would want to put your vehicle in your business name. Even if you plan on using your vehicle for your personal use, as long as you log the miles that you're actually using the vehicle for your business, you can still write off a portion of your total vehicle cost. So something's better than nothing. The reason you're able to do this is through a tax code section called Section 179. Now, this section is going to stipulate what type of deduction you're going to be able to get. If you have a small vehicle, meaning that's anything under 6,000 pounds, you're going to get a smaller deduction. But if you have one of the larger vehicles, you can write off close to the total cost of your vehicle. You ever notice how you see a lot of business owners with Hummers, SUVs, Sprinter vans? Well, that's because they're writing off 100% of the vehicle cost. Pretty cool, ain't it? Now let's get to it. Now, how do you actually put a vehicle in your business name? Well, first things first, you have to have a business to be able to put a vehicle in your business name, right? So if you need to learn how to do that, I have a video out, so go ahead and set the link up right here so you can check that out. I'll go step by step showing you exactly what you need to do to go ahead and set up an LLC. Once you set up your LLC, the next thing you need to do is go to irs.gov and set up your federal tax ID number. Now, this is a very straightforward process. A lot of the information that you're going to need when you set up your LLC is the same information that you're going to need when you go to irs.gov. Like I said, it's a very simple process. It only takes you probably about 10 minutes, if that, and you'll have your tax ID at the end. Like I said, 10-15 minutes, done, you'll have it. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and go to Dun & Bradstreet and get yourself a DUNS number. Now, Dun & Bradstreet is an organization similar to TransUnion or Equifax, but they record on the business side of things. So it's a good idea to go ahead and register with them, because that will be a good way for you to establish business credit as well. Now, once you gather those two numbers, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and get yourself a business bank account. Now, if you're going to be getting a business vehicle or you're going to be conducting business, period, you want to have a business bank account to be doing your transactions through. You don't want to be doing it through your personal account. Whenever you have a business, you want to have some type of arm's length transactions between your personal credit and your business credit. Otherwise, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble mixing funds. So you want to do the best you can by separating your business from your personal. Now that you have your business bank account, the next thing you want to do is try to establish some type of lines of credit. Now, this could be something as simple as getting a gas card. You're getting ready to buy a business vehicle. It makes sense to go ahead and have a business gas card. This will help you with your business credit as well. You go ahead, every time you fill up, go ahead and use the gas card, pay it off every month. That helps. That gets reported to Dun & Bradstreet, so that will build up your business credit over time. Now, as we're talking about business vehicles, if you're new, obviously, when you go ahead and go get a vehicle, you're not going to have a whole lot of business credit, like I said, if you're new. So you're more than likely going to have to sign yourself up as a personal guarantor. This is not a bad thing. This just pretty much protects the dealership in case your business defaults. They have somebody that's going to be responsible for the payments, i.e. you. You'll still be able to get the vehicle in your business name, but they are going to want you to go ahead and sign off. It's just like having a co-signer. Just in case you default, they want somebody else to go after so they can get their money. Now that you have your EIN, you have your Dun & Bradstreet number, you have your business bank account, you have your line of credit, okay, now it's time to start talking about vehicles. You obviously want to get something that's within your budget and something that makes sense for your business. Don't be out here trying to ball on a budget with your business. Don't be looking at that 7 Series when you really should be looking at a Chevy Traverse or something like that. Don't get fly and put yourself in the broke house. Now, you want to go ahead and get something that's going to go with the type of business that you're going to be running. If you need a truck, you need to get a truck. You want to get something that fits your operations, and you also want to get something that's within your means. Now that you have an idea of what type of vehicle you might want for your business, let me get you familiar with some terms that you're going to need when you go to the dealership. The first thing you're going to want to be familiar with is the MSRP. Now, that's the manufacturer's suggested retail price. That's exactly as it sounds. That's how much the manufacturer thinks the vehicle should go for. You also want to be familiar with the capitalized cost. Now, that's just the fancy way of saying the negotiated price. You have the MSRP. Now, what is the number that you actually negotiated with the dealer? Some dealers will have incentives, like if you're military, or if you're buying more than one vehicle, or sometimes even if you're a college graduate, a recent college graduate, you're able to get some incentives. These incentives minus the MSRP are what are going to be your capitalized costs. Now, the next thing you want to know is capitalized reduction cost. Now, that's another fancy way of saying, what's the down payment? Are you going to be putting any type of money down on this vehicle? I mean, in some instances, it makes sense to go ahead and put some money down, especially if you want to get the monthly payments down. But in some cases, it doesn't make sense. Like if you're leasing a vehicle, the more money you put down doesn't necessarily mean that the cost is going to be lower. All right, now the next terms I'm going to be talking about are pretty much if you're going to be leasing a vehicle. Now, if you're going to be leasing a vehicle, you want to be familiar with the depreciation value. Now, the depreciation value is pretty much how much money is going to be lost from the time that you lease the vehicle to the time that the lease ends. Say you lease a vehicle that's $50,000. At the end of the lease, it's worth $30,000. That means it depreciated $20,000. That's the depreciation value. Now, that $20,000 minus the $50,000 that you leased it for equals $30,000, right? Now, that $30,000 is the next term I'm going to talk about. That $30,000 is that residual value. That is what the cost of the vehicle is going to be once the lease is over. Now, before you even go to the dealership, do yourself a favor. Go ahead and go to bankrate.com. They have an auto lease calculator that will help you figure out what your monthly payments are going to be on the vehicle. All you have to do is punch in the numbers and they'll spit out an estimate of what your payments are going to be. You're going to need things like the MSRP. You're going to need the capitalized cost, which is the negotiated price. You're going to need the capitalized reduction cost, which is the down payment. You're also going to need the usage tax, which is pretty much the state tax for whatever state you're in. And you're going to need to have an idea of how long you plan on leasing the vehicle. The average lease term is 36 months, which is 3 years, obviously. Just do the math, it's simple. All right, now let's do a quick recap. Why would you want to put a vehicle in your business name? You want to take advantage of all the tax incentives. You want to be able to write off that depreciation of the vehicle. You want to be able to write off any type of expenses that you have, say repairs, tires, gas, all that stuff's deductible. How are you going to do it? First, you have to have a business, obviously. You want to establish some business credit. Next, you want to know what type of vehicle that you're going to want. You want to know what's going to make sense for your business. If you want to write off a larger amount of the vehicle, then you're going to have to get something that's over 6,000 pounds per the section 179 of the tax code. If you get something that's going to be lower, obviously the deduction is going to be less, but you'll still be able to make those deductions. All right, once you've done all these things, you've gone to the dealer. Now all you got to do is negotiate terms. Go to bankrate.com, have a ballpark on what you think you want to pay per month before you go to the dealership. After that, everything is pretty simple. There may be some differences depending on the state, depending on the dealership, depending on the vehicle that you go to. Well, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. If there's anything that I missed, please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know if I'm way off base or if there's something I just could have added that would have brought more value to the information that I gave. Like I said, I'm still out here building, so of course I'm going to make mistakes. I'm just going to say I'm taking you down the path that I took when I got my business vehicle. So you might have a better way. If you do, please feel free to share. We're all about sharing knowledge here and getting better and growing. And we can't do that if we keep all the knowledge to ourselves. If you found any value in this video, I appreciate it if you hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. I come with fresh content every week. Anything you want to know, if you got any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments section. I want to give a shout out to my boy Sharad Face, and he gave me a real quick rundown on how to lease a vehicle in your business name before I even went to go get my vehicle. Also, I want to give a shout out to my boy Kyle down at Crimswell Acura down in Annapolis. I appreciate you. You really looked out for your boy. I will be coming to see you. We got to talk business on some other ventures. He's a real good dude. I did try to beat him up on the price. He went as far as he could without losing his job, so I appreciate him for that. I just want to thank you for walking this walk with me. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm on this journey with you, so I'll see you in the next episode. Deuces.